As we finish our study on World War II, I'm going to discuss with you the uses of the atomic bomb as a means to end the war, and also consider the debates it sparked. We live in an age of constant nuclear threat, and it's important to understand how and why that threat came about. The incredible bloody battles fought on the Pacific Islands against the Japanese greatly concerned military officials who were planning for an invasion of Japan. Japanese resistance to such attack would have been fanatical, with banzai charges and kamikaze pilots committing suicide even before a land invasion. Military leaders realized that unless Japan suffered a serious blow, surrender would never come. Franklin Roosevelt had suddenly died in late 1945, and the new president, Harry S. Truman, was informed in July 1944 about the atomic bomb. The actual planning for this bomb is called the Manhattan Project. This project began in August of 1942, and construction of the bomb began in Los Alamos, New Mexico, under the direction of J. Robert Oppenheimer. The bomb was successfully tested in New Mexico on July 16, 1945. Much debate has taken place over the American decision to drop the bomb. For President Harry S. Truman, this was not a difficult decision. Losses in an invasion of Japan would have been astronomical. Truman also admitted that what had happened at Pearl Harbor and at the Bataan Death March influenced his decision. Some historians also claim that both the State Department and the War Department saw the Soviet Union as the next potential enemy of the United States, and show them what we had. After the atomic bomb was dropped, American public opinion was incredibly supportive of Truman's decision. It should be noted that movies, newsreels, and even comic books made the eventual decision to drop the atomic bomb easier by turning the war against the Japanese into a race war. The Japanese were referred to as Japs, who were portrayed with crude racial stereotypes and were seen as sneaky and certainly not to be trusted. Just think about the way Americans did the war against Germany. They always portrayed the war against Hitler and the Nazis, but never against the German people. This is not the case for Japan. This is still the way we see the Axis forces today, as we always talk about the war against Hitler or the war against the Nazis. On August 6, 1945, the airplane called Enola Gay dropped the bomb on the city of Hiroshima. Over 75,000 people were killed in this attack, and many still suffered the effects much later in life. But Japan still refused to surrender. Just 3 days later, the United States dropped another bomb on the city of Nagasaki.
August 6, 1945. On that day, the nuclear age burst upon the Earth with the flash and fire from the first atom bomb. The target was Hiroshima. A second A bomb 3 days later was loosed on Nagasaki, bringing to an end the war that began on the Day of Infamy. Below is Hiroshima after the bomb. Only the ashes remained of what was once the most thriving city of western Honshu, Japan's biggest island. Of the almost 7 square miles of the city, only about 3 remained. Viewing the obliterated city, the emptiness, it was hard to believe that Hiroshima was once a teeming metropolis of narrow, crooked streets, of congested, low-storied wood structures, of people literally rubbing elbows as they trudged their way on the sidewalks and unpaved roads. Scientists found strange results of atomic radioactivity in bombed-out Hiroshima. Shadows of bridge posts and railings and of a man were permanently etched on the scorched pavement by heat and light rays of the atomic blast that took place a mile away. Ghostly souvenirs of the A-blast. Several years later, even as Hiroshima's people went about their daily tasks, the work of the Atomic Bomb Casualty Commission continued to yield invaluable scientific data. A joint American-Japanese project financed by the United States Atomic Energy Commission, its laboratory and clinic conducted research to determine the long-range effect of radiation on human beings. Eventually, an analysis of every bomb survivor would be studied. Late in 1947, with Hiroshima once again beginning to emerge as a boomtown, the city took a holiday to give Emperor Hirohito his greatest reception since the defeat and occupation of Japan. Curiously enough, Hiroshima, along with Nagasaki, was the most pro-U.S. city in all Japan.
This is a demonstration.
There was a feeling that the atomic blast cleared them at least of war guilt. As the citizens of Hiroshima rebuilt their city from scratch, a fervent feeling grew that there would be no more Hiroshimas. Peace became the motive and inspiration in tasks of reconstruction. Certain ruins were preserved to mark the very spot over which the A-bomb was known to have exploded. And amid the memorials, there rose again a new, thriving city of 361,000 inhabitants.
Of Flip for Mac.
The old city would never be forgotten, nor would the tragedy and the useless war and militarism that made a new one necessary. One fearful gust of heat and force had proved the futility of imperialistic aggression. Yes, Hiroshima had come back from the greatest blow inflicted on a city in modern times. But beneath the facade of the bustling metropolis remained the memory of the dazzling, awful second at 8:15 a.m. on August 6,
This is a demonstration of
1945.
Flip for Mac.
To this day, many historians seriously debate the decision to drop the atomic bomb, as some believe there is evidence that the Japanese were discussing surrender terms on the day that Nagasaki was attacked. J. Robert Oppenheimer, the man credited for the creation of the atomic bomb, is quoted as saying, "When you see something that is technically sweet, you go ahead and do it and argue about what to do about it only after you have had your technical success. This is the way it was with the atomic bomb." This quote raises a number of questions, first and foremost being, what was the purpose of the atomic bomb with this quote in mind? Was it about ending the war, or was it about achieving scientific and technological success? Some other questions to consider are, was there another option besides the atomic bomb? Remember, the United States had been dropping incendiary bombs across Japan, one in Tokyo killing about 100,000 people. It's also important to remember that there has been no atomic bomb dropped since World War II. Yes, the world is very close to nuclear warfare, but it has always been avoided. Some would argue that the bomb was justified in being dropped because its purpose was peace, not for the acquisition of world power and dominance.